Hello, this is Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian that discusses this and that. Today, I'm just doing a discussion I've had with a feminist. And remember, you can call it a conversation or a debate all you want, but when you make accusations against the other party, it's not really a conversation or a debate. All right, so I'm doing this like early in the morning, and oh, you son of a bitch. All right, so I was sort of in a conversation with a feminist this morning, and I wasn't really trying to be a shitlord or anything. It seemed to be a woman who genuinely wanted to know more about women against feminism and why women choose to support that. So let me go ahead and start the screen share, and we're going to go over that conversation today. All right, there we go. Now, I initially told her I wasn't going to do this tonight because it was early in the morning, but if I don't do this now, I'm just not going to give a shit later. So this is the conversation. Now, I directed her to a video where I did on this survey. By the way, we're nearly to 600, so that's amazing. And this is a very nice result. We still have more males than females, which is good, but 251 females, 211 of them defined by being a woman. And let's go down here. Only 61 of them, not 61%, 61 identify as a feminist. So that's between 20 to 24%, depending on which number you're going with. But anyways, let's go to the bottom here. I directed her to a video that I had done specifically on women against feminism, showing this list right here and reading them off. I suggested that she watch the entire thing if she really wanted to know why women supported women against feminism. So that's about where the conversation begins. Now, because of the nature of a Twitter conversation, this isn't really going to be in the order that I was reacting to it, but just how it was able to record it. This is a pretty good website, by the way. If you're now just joining me for this video and you want to leave something in chat, feel free to do so. I will try to read it. Hopefully, hello, I am Miriam. I kind of like that name, Miriam. Although I'm more preference towards Miriam, but it's probably some bias. Anyways, maybe she'll stop by and leave a message, But I certainly let her know on Twitter that I did, and the title of this has her Twitter account, so it should let her know that I'm doing this. And if not, she's welcome to leave a comment down below. So anyways, this conversation started with this post by Bayan Ethics. Nice mansplaining there. How about you let us live our lives the way we want? Then our friend Miriam here states that she would like to understand what makes you women against feminism, just because it's a viewpoint for me to consider. So then I linked her to my video. So now we start off. Now, of course, every viewpoint exists because of something. I'd like to consider it and come to an informed decision. Okay, that's respectable. You've made many sweeping statements in the video, like it really seems like it's feminists who are telling other women they can and can't be who they want to be. And based on observation and based on what I saw in that video and in that entire list, that was a common consensus. I've not done that. You go on to say feminists shame people and stick their heads in other situations. Well, okay. But I, someone who identifies as feminist, haven't done that. There's going to be a little bit more context to how this we're structured um, as we go through this. Aren't you doing that shaming thing by telling women people that feminists are ignorant or misinformed? I'm like, how am I shaming feminists by saying that they are ignorant? It's a true statement. I mean, technically, we're all ignorant of something, but feminists really seem to be ignorant on a lot of many different things. And they've shown time and time again that they are. Their actions prove that they're ignorant on a lot of issues. So then she asks the question, so because you don't accept someone's belief, you get to call it ignorant? That doesn't sound fair. Oh, where did I say that I get to do that? You know, there's a reason why I did it. And instead of trying to find out why I did that, you start with an accusation. Because you don't believe in accept someone's belief, you get to call it ignorant. That's not why I called it ignorant. For other women, please, can you keep our two friends in this conversation? Referring to Bayonetics and LeXW, two people I respect a lot. And I originally took them out because I needed room, as I say with this post, or one post I did say about that. So responding to the first one up here, I say, how are you making that determination? I call them ignorant based on their actions. Hell, you're doing a common feminist tactic. You're trying to discredit me so my video means nothing. So hang on. I, as an individual, doesn't embody the entire feminist movement, but it's okay for you to call out individual feminists and call them ignorant and then use this opinion as a wider generalization. I'm not calling out individual feminists as being ignorant. I'm calling the movement as a whole ignorant based on a majority of their members and the actions of the whole. Okay, I recognize that there are many individuals within the feminist movement that are not ignorant. They understand what everything is. Okay. And we tend to call those radical feminists, although there is a select few that I can get behind. So I say, yeah, I support Christina Hoff Sommers because she has shown in her actions not to be ignorant. She's a feminist. Notice that you're not addressing the points made by women in this video, only attacking me. And then she's like, well, you just said indivisible. I'm sure she meant individual. I'm sure that was an autocorrect mistake. Can't be the embodiment of feminism. And I didn't do that. I said an individual has my support. Watch what she does here. But do you support said person because she is saying what you agree with? So feminism is okay if you agree. Again, another accusation. Instead of trying to find out what it is that I meant by my statement, she immediately goes into the accusation of, oh, you only support them because you agree with them. Well, no, that's not why I do, as I say here. When did I say I only support her because I agree with her? You don't care about my opinion. You take something I say and redirect it into something else. Yeah, it's called an interpretation and having a conversation. If I agree with all you said, we wouldn't need this conversation. It's a way to further understand your opinion. And where did I say you had to agree with me? Show me. Should our friends wish to chat on this later, you will have calmed by then. Okay, and this one will come into context a little bit later in this conversation, in this video. And basically, well, at this point, she didn't want to talk to me anymore. As you can see, this is like 1:50 in the morning. And I'm like, well, by the way, common feminist tactic. I call you out on what you say and you retreat rather than answer me, which is something I see a lot of feminists do. When I really start questioning what they're saying or the accusations that they're making, saying, how did you come to that conclusion? They conveniently leave so they don't actually have to answer it. And then say, well, you're the one who's angry. You're the one who needs to calm down. Just because I'm disagreeing with you doesn't mean that I'm frustrated, doesn't mean that I'm angry or that I need to calm down. See, what the problem is you're losing control of the situation. I'm not giving you what you want, so you have to conclude, he must be angry then. Well, I'm not going to talk to him until he calms down, even though I've shown no evidence that I was frustrated. I didn't like what you're doing to me, but that didn't frustrate me. I've dealt with 1,000 feminists before. You're no different. And then I said I was doing a video. She wants me to tag her. And she wants to know if we should wait for her friend's opinion. I'm like, well, that's your project, not mine. And then I said that I was likely not doing it tonight. But then I changed my mind 2 hours later, and that's my prerogative. It's kind of weird that it says, because I wrote that and was 1:30, and then it's saying it's like nearly 2 o'clock. I don't know what to make of that. That's weird. And didn't realize that I was in a different time zone. Good job at looking at my profile, though. Well, that's not really a big deal. Alrighty, so starting the conversation over again, this is going to give you a little bit more context. I wish there was a better way of displaying this. So, how am I shaming them? It's a true statement. So just because you don't accept someone's belief, you get to call it ignorant. That doesn't sound fair. How are you making that determination? I call them ignorant based on their actions. To call out individual feminists and call them ignorant and then use this opinion as a wider generalization. Okay, that's not what I've done. And if you actually tried to understand where I was coming from, you would have understood. Instead, you are making an accusation against me saying, well, this is what you're doing. Now, here's the kicker. I don't think English is your first language. And if that's the case, if you want to have these kind of discussions, I recommend learning how to ask a proper question, because the thing is, maybe you don't realize that what you're doing is accusatory. You're accusing me of something rather than actually asking a question. And if that's the case, you need to master the English language if you're going to go into this sort of thing. If not, and that's precisely what you mean, well, it makes you kind of come off as a bitch, honestly. Because the one thing you didn't give me was respect. I gave you nothing but respect. You gave me very little. So if you did this on purpose, you're a bitch. And I'm sure you can go ahead and bitch. You complain about that I'm calling you names, but you made accusations against me. I didn't do that to you. I showed you respect. You showed me none. But I'm willing to accept that maybe you don't understand English properly to know that what you're doing is bad. And if that's the case, you need to learn English, honestly. So my response with Christina Hoff Sommers, individual embodiment of feminism. Now, see, the kicker is I support Christina Hoff Sommers because her actions As I said it clear as day, yeah, I support Christina Hoff Sommers because she has shown in her actions not to be ignorant. And then it's like, well, do you support because you agree with? Actually, there are many issues I don't agree with Christina Hoff Sommers. You know, her representation of second wave feminism, her interpretation of what the second wave movement did. There are points in which I disagree. Her supporting he for she movement, I disagree with that. But you know what? I respect her and I would have her back at all times. I don't need to agree with someone to support someone. It doesn't work that way. Some people support each other just because they agree with each other. But you know what? It comes down to a saying. If you're dumb, surround yourself with smart people. And if you're already smart, surround yourself with smart people who disagree with you. And that's what I do. I have a lot of people in my life that we don't see eye to eye on every single issue. That's why I support Christine, and I support Christina Hoff Sommers because she has shown herself to not be ignorant on issues. She really tries to get to the heart of the matter and not just form a threat narrative that makes her out to be a victim. All right, let's continue. You don't care about my opinion. You redirected itself. Then she kind of goes back as I only want to understand why your friends support then why did you attack me? If that's the only thing you wanted to know, then up there you shouldn't have even begun this conversation with me. You shouldn't have begun attacking me. You're like, well, you're just making this generalization and blah, 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 blah. And now you're retreating because I'm questioning you on the fucking things you're saying. So if you didn't want this entire conversation, you shouldn't have initiated it. I was giving you some help because you said that you wanted to get some information about why women support the Women Against Feminism tag. So I thought I would do a charitable thing and show you a video that would give you that information. And had you stopped the conversation there and never talked to me again, I would have been fine with that. But no, you had to come in and say that you think that I was wrong. And when I responded to that, now you're trying to retreat. I was like, well, I just only want this one thing. Well, then you should have only wanted that one thing. You shouldn't have tried to engage me in a conversation that you would later retreat from because you don't want to deal with my questions and my responses. So once again, same thing. So let's go back through the next part of the conversation to hopefully get some more context. So yeah, we've kind of gone through all of that. Okay, so I didn't do that. I said that one individual has my support. Don't care about my opinion. Yeah, we've already gone through that. Okay. So she's like, you will have calmed down by then. Yeah, okay. So then I'm like, well, I'm not frustrated. Just answer my questions. Where did I say the things you claimed that I did? She didn't answer. She didn't want to. Because the conversation became too real, and instead of just sitting there accusing me and not responding back to her so she could feel empowered, I argued back, which to some feminism is a form of oppression. And instead of dealing with any of my questions at all, legitimate questions of where did I say that, she chose not to answer them because she perceived it as, oh, well, you're frustrated. You'll have to calm down if you want to talk to me again. No. Common feminist tactic. All right, going through the conversation again. Yeah, we read a lot of this already. Okay, so I say that you don't care about my opinion. You take something I say and redirect it into something else. And yes, it's called an interpretation and having a conversation. No, that's what's called putting words in my mouth. Stop trying to guess what I mean and look at the words I use. Because you keep, so when I tell you something like, I support Christina Hoff Sommers because her actions have shown that she's not ignorant. And then you respond like, oh, so you only support people you agree with? Feminism is only right when it agrees with you. That is putting words in my mouth because I didn't say those things at all. You can't even interpret that. The only way you could interpret that if you start putting words in my mouth and start saying that I've said something that I haven't actually said. I'm not guessing anything. I would like to leave this convo here. You are getting rather frustrated. And that's why I don't think English is a first language, because that's just really bad grammar right there. So I'm not getting frustrated, but you are putting words into my mouth. Stop trying to guess what I mean, Just take what I say. Now, if you want clarification on what I'm saying, ask for clarification. Just say, hey, can you clarify for that? I don't quite understand what you mean by that. Okay, what part didn't you understand? Oh, this and that. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'm happy to answer your question. But don't turn around and take something I say and just like use it as a way to accuse me of something that I'm not doing. I'm asking valid questions. It's not my fault that you're putting words in my mouth. Okay, back to the beginning of this conversation. Okay, so I've not done that. You go on to say that feminists shame people and stick their heads in other situations. So are you arguing that because you haven't done it means that these women's experiences is wrong? Now, this is referring to when she was saying that, um, as a feminist, I haven't done these things. So I'm like, well, are you arguing that because that you haven't done them means that these women's experiences is wrong? Because that's what the argument sounds like to me. You're arguing like, well, I haven't done these things. Well, so what? So what that you haven't done these things? What the hell does that have to do with anything at all? Seriously. So I was, and maybe I'm doing it a little bit myself. That I'm putting, well, I'm not even really putting words in her mouth. Let me think about this for a moment. Maybe I am. But, and you know what? You know what? I'm sorry. I did put words into her mouth. However, she wasn't very specific on what she was saying. She just kept saying, well, I haven't done it. That was my bad. And I apologize for that. I did put words in her mouth. So what are you? So you're arguing that because you haven't done it means that these women's experience is wrong. Not arguing, debating. Which women's experiences are wrong? I don't understand the statement. Explain. Well, the video itself, the video has women talking about it. And I said, you said it yourself. You haven't done it. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is what these women experienced. That is, why is my experience irrelevant? That's peculiar. Because your question is not, because your experience is not at question here. What you experience won't answer why the hashtag exists. She wants to know why women support this hashtag. Well, her experience is not going to answer that question because she doesn't support that hashtag. So why would her experience on anything answer a question about that? That's like me saying that my experience is relevant to a woman's menstruation cycle. Even though I don't have a menstruation cycle, my experience in life makes me someone who can talk about that issue and have an opinion on it. It really doesn't, you know. Or put more specifically, I ask, why do you use tampons to women? Well, my experience is not going to make a difference in that question. Because since I don't have a menstrual cycle, I'm not going to really have an opinion on using tampons or not using tampons. Sorry, it's early in the morning. All right, we're almost done with this. Again, I'm a woman and the hashtag has the word, hence my experience might be a little relevant. Well, it has women and feminism in it, and you're both a woman and a feminist, but that doesn't mean that your experience will answer the question of why women support women against feminism. Your experience has nothing to do with that. So I'm like, okay, how does your experience explain your question? Why does women against feminism exist? I did not ask that question. I initially wanted to understand why our friends support that viewpoint. Okay, let's refine it. How does your experience answer why women support women against feminism? Warped reflection. Good to see you. The hashtag is women against feminism. And then she's saying that she's going to write a blog on all of this. And I was annoyed. I wasn't frustrated, but I'm like, are you going to misrepresent me in your blog? So far you have. All of her accusations she's made against me. She says, I haven't written the post yet, and I won't be mentioning you in the post, just the hashtag. Feel free to read. Okay. So let's go through the next section here to get a little bit more context. Okay, so here's a good one. I say, notice that you're not addressing the points made by women in this video, only attacking me. Because I'm not really important to this conversation. I just did a video reading off what women anonymously posted about why they're not a feminist. Hey, Sadochrist. Warped reflection. Oh, did you leave a post in this warped reflection? I'm about halfway done, but yeah, I'm sorry I'm doing it early in the morning. I just had to do it right now. So, but thank you for coming out, Sadochrist. Although I like your little icon there because you only see the SAD, so it's kind of cute. All right, so back to this. Notice that you're not addressing the points made by the women in this video. And her response, if you feel like I'm attacking you, please report me to Twitter and stop engaging in convo. If like an adult, you can have a debate over different opinions, continue. Wow, the language on that one. I welcome your opinions. No, you don't. You haven't once welcomed my opinion because every time I tell you my opinion, you find a way to turn it back around on me and use it to make an accusation on me. Now, I may have done that to you once, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but I'm going to be a bigger man right now and apologize for doing that to you. But you did that to me over and over and over again. But as I say, I'm not going to report you. I don't believe in that unless you do something illegal. I'm not going to use Twitter harassment thing to try to silence you because you haven't really done anything wrong. Yeah, you're like annoying me, You're misrepresenting me, but I wish you could see my page right now, say to Chris. He's like, you see Sade in my icon? It's my face, though. It's kind of weird now because now it shows your face for the second icon, but the first time it shows SAD. I don't know. It's weird. So, yeah, I'm not going to report her. That's a feminist tactic that they do, and I'm not going to engage in that kind of childish bullshit. All right, going back through the conversation again. So when she said that, can handle a debate over different opinions, continue. I'm like, since when? So far, you state that I call people ignorant as I disagree with them and overgeneralize. Okay. So she's saying keep the women in the conversation, which I initially took them out because I needed the extra room, as this really isn't a conversation for Twitter itself. But, she continued to have it. Okay, so almost done. I think we got 2 more blocks of this. So you're trying to discredit me. You're trying to discredit me so my video means nothing. Yeah. And I had a second message somewhere. I think yeah, here it is. Rather than address the points that women in the video brought up, I will address the points in the video, most likely in a blog post. I also want to hear from our friends. So she's going to write a blog post about this, about why women support women against feminism, and address the points that are brought up in the video. But as she stated, she's not going to mention me at all. So she's not going to give me credit for doing the video, but use my video as, a topic to discuss. Ooh, that's really good right there. Kudos for you for excluding people, because that's what feminism knows how to do. And again, if you want their viewpoints, then why are you attacking me? Why did you start this entire thing if the only thing you want is their viewpoints? All right, so this was kind of going back to this, but I, someone who identifies as a feminist, haven't done that. Again, because you haven't done it, do you deny their experience? Because, it's looking at this statement, someone who identifies as a feminist haven't done that. So what if you haven't done it? Other feminists have. So what if you haven't done it? Kudos on you for not acting like 90% of the feminist movement. But that doesn't still excuse that other women who are anti-feminists have experienced this kind of abuse from feminists. And I see a lot of feminists try to justify, well, I don't do that, so you just don't know what feminism is. And that's the line of thinking that comes from here. I feel a little justified in the question I asked, but it is doing the same thing. I've already apologized for it, though. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so men's rights survey that was done, and a question was asked of women: why aren't they feminism? Just watch some of the vid. Men's rights survey doesn't tell me why hashtag women against feminism exists. Actually, it does. You actually have to watch the video and look at the responses the women have. Would like to understand why women who support women against feminism support it to create an informed opinion. Well, the reason why is that they've received some sort of abuse or seen feminism commit abuse against someone. So I'm trying to explain to her, well, this is why you should watch the video. It's because of what they have seen of feminism itself. That is the reason. And she's like, well, should we wait for their opinion? I don't want to spam their conversation. I'm like, oh, they won't really mind. Okay, here's the last one. All right. Yeah, you have to get into it. You have to get into it a little bit. Women list the reasons why they aren't feminists. So, she comes off as a very innocent girl, just saying like, "Oh, I just want to make an informed opinion." But then when I try to have a conversation with her, she immediately goes on to the attack. Takes any one little thing I say and find a way to just turn it around on me and use it to attack me over and over and over again. And then when I keep questioning her, where are you getting this information? Why do you keep putting words into my mouth? She does the common feminist tactic. Don't think that you're somehow unique or a special snowflake within the feminist movement, Miriam. You're doing exactly what feminists do. It's like you're playing from the feminist handbook. When in this situation, just say they need to calm down. I've had a lot of feminists tell me this. And I'll tell you something. I'm not frustrated, slightly annoyed that you're misrepresenting my words and that you're trying to use it to attack me because you're a person who's saying, "Oh, I really want to make an informed opinion." Well, if you're trying to do that, you're going about it the wrong way. So, warped reflection. Feminists turn on their own minute one. Oh, feminists turn on the minute one has a different opinion from them. They're just nasty, nasty people. Sadochrist. Is this feminist trolling you? Oh, not really. No, she wasn't trolling me. She made a response wanting to know more about women against feminism, and I gave her a video link. She then tried to reply to that, and then the moment things got a little too serious, she then tried to run away, and then trying to put it on me that I was the problem. So this is just a fun conversation, in all honesty, and I'm going to start doing these from time to time when I have these kind of conversations. I think they're a lot of fun, in all honesty, because these feminists think that they're the first ones to ever experience whatever they're going through. And that, oh, well, he's just being, no, you're not doing anything new. I've had this same conversation over and over again. And you want to prove that you're not like every other feminist? Then how about you actually answer the questions that I ask you and not try to attack me in the same breath and then try to say that I'm the one who has the problem? Because in the end, you're nothing but a coward. You are. Instead of answering my questions, you run away and it's like, well, when you calm down, we can talk like adults. Warped reflection. You have a penis. Of course, you're the problem. No, I don't have a penis. I have a mighty penis. So I'm a big, thick problem. And I'm sure that was more than any of you wanted to know. But, hey, proud of what you got, Say to Chris, penises are offensive to women. Oh, yes, they are. I don't think that it's so much offensive as it is penis envy. Feminists wish they had penises, in all honesty. because then they wouldn't need men because they would already have a penis. No, I don't believe that. I'm just being a shitlord. Anyways, Miriam, if you're watching this, if you happen to see this, look, you can talk to me all you want till you're blue in the face about how, oh, you're just trying to get people's opinions and blah, blah, blah. But when you take everything I say and turn it as a way of, oh, well, you only support them because they agree with you. You only support feminism when you agree with it. I never said those things. I support people by their actions. And your actions tell me that you're no different than 90% of the feminists. This entire thing right here is an indication of your actions. Now, if you were like Christina Hoff Sommers and really tried to get to the truth of the matter, I probably support you. I don't tend to like feminists because I see a lot of this same behavior that you exhibit by most feminists I meet. And only a select few of feminists have I ever given credence to that they might have a legitimate point, that they might have a legitimate cause. But a very select few, and in each and every one of those, it was because they showed me that they really do care about the facts, that they really try to understand everything. And it's those feminists I support, not because they agree with me. Hell, there are people within the men's rights movement that disagree with me on a lot of different topics. I don't need people to agree with me for me to support them. I just need them willing to look at all of the facts of a situation. That's it. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for me this morning. Thank you, Warped Reflection and Sato Chris, for joining me in the chat today. And Miriam, I hope you take a good reflection on this. And the next time you try talking to people, especially a man, about any of these issues, how about you really try to understand what he is saying before you start making accusations? You might get more out of the experience if you do that. But then what do I know? I have a penis. Anyways, that does it for me tonight. Thank you. Well, this morning. Thank you, everyone. And this is Mad Cat signing out.